हेलो।
सर
एम आई
कैसे हैं?
ऑडिबल? जी जी। आवाज आ रही है राशिद?
जी जी, आपकी आवाज़ आ रही है। बस
चलो
स्टार्ट कर
स्टार्ट।
रहे हैं। मैं
स्टार्ट
ये
कर दें,
ग्रुप पे
चलो।
कर दूँ ग्रुप में।
हम्म।
सर थोड़ा सा जूम कर लें प्लीज़। जी जी, अब बेटर है, बेटर। सर आई थिंक स्टार्ट कर दें। थैंक यू।
ओके। ओके जी। हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज डॉक्टर मोहम्मद Ali. Today we will be talking about the plagiarism and the research ethics, integrity uh, in research methodology. Uh, while conducting a research, there are some essential principles that are very much necessary to follow. It includes the research ethics and integrity. I'm going to be starting with some key aspects that are related to research ethics and integrity, the fundamental principles for any research are that we should have a respect for persons, specifically that we should protect the rights and dignity of the research participants, that they don't be harmed, or uh, no confidentiality issues, no privacy policy leaks or something like that. Person should be respected, the participant should be respected. Then the second point is benefits, that your research, whatever you are doing, that research should ensure that the community is benefited from it, and no harm is uh, can be created by this research. Uh, in larger sense, what I'm talking about, that if we do any kind of a patient-oriented research, so by conclusion of that research, the community, the patient community, that particular issue, the patients related to that issue, they should be benefited, and they cannot be harmed, or in other words, that we minimize the harm. Okay. Then the non-maleficence is that we avoid harm to research participants and other. In the first point, in the respect for the persons, I have mentioned that we have to protect the rights and the dignity of the research participants. And in the non-maleficence, it is as it is, that we should avoid harm to the research participants and the others. Then the autonomy, that we should respect the participants' freedom to make informed decisions, that any of the participant has the freedom to leave research in any step. Okay. And if the patient is not, patient or the participant has not given a consent, so we cannot, you know, we cannot say to them that, yes, you have to do it. We cannot restrict them. We have to respect their autonomy. Then comes the justice, that we should ensure the fair distribution of the benefits and the burdens. That if we are doing any kind of a study, so the participants should be aware of their rights. The participants should know that what they have to do and how they have to do. So the distribution of the, the benefits and the burdens and the pros and cons of the research, that should be totally justified to them. That should be, uh, patient participant should be informed of it, and participant should give his or her consent, then we should involve them. So there are five fundamental principles. There can be more as well. There are more fundamental principles as well, but these are the main fundamental principles that should be followed while conducting any kind of research, because they are the integral part of research ethics and the integrity. That is respect for persons, all the participants, then the beneficence, that your research benefit the society, then non-maleficence, that no harm is to be uh, provided to the research participants. Then the autonomy, respecting the participants' freedom, and then the justice. Now, as far as the research integrity is concerned, uh, the researcher should be honest. Okay, honesty is the first part of the research integrity. You should be truthful in your research conduct, reporting, and the publication. So these are the main points that while conducting a research and then writing a research. So you should conduct a research in a truthful manner, report and publication in a very good and honest way. Then there should be an objectivity. The objectivity is mean that we should avoid the bias and ensure the impartiality. We should have the aims and objectives that can benefit the society. The expected outcomes of that research should be significant. So objectivity is that part. Then the transparency is actually the openness in the research methods, data, and the findings, that we should be transparent, and we should be clear in our research methods. Data should be collected very clearly. Data should be uh, unbiased. Collection of data should be unbiased, and then the findings, that needs to be very verified, and they should be accurate, clear and precise.
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही आई थिंक।
जी मैं खुद रुका हूँ 1 मिनट। मैं असल में मुझे लगा शायद स्क्रीन जो है ना वो आगे पीछे होगी। स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है ना?
जी जी, स्क्रीन विजिबल है।
बस ठीक है। हाँ मुझे लगा शायद वो आगे पीछे होगी कोई मसला।
नहीं नहीं, इट्स ओके।
Okay. Okay. Then, after the transparency, there should be the accountability that we should take the responsibility for research action and outcomes. What we have done, uh, that research results or the outcomes may be significant, maybe non-significant. So we should be accountable for that. Okay. While writing the publication, we should be very impartial. We should write in a very clear and concise manner. We should write in a way that community can be benefited, and specifically the scientific community can understand what we want to say and what we have done and what we have discovered and what's our insight. So that it should be clear. Then there is a fairness, the that we equal opportunities and treatment fair treatment, that we should ensure that there should be the equal opportunities and fair treatment among the participants and all. So the research integrity basically consists of the following: that we should conduct our research honestly. There should be an objectivity. Uh, Transparency is the main key, then the accountability, and then the fairness. So these are the 4 to 5 points that a research integrity consists of. Uh, all those points are elaborated. We can talk hours on any of the point, but as we are going through only the the ABCs of the research ethics and the integrity, so that's why we are quickly going through all of this, and all your answers, questions will be answered after the this short lecture. Then comes the key issues that are related to research ethics and the research integrity. uh, they are that informed consent. I have previously mentioned that in the part that where we are talking about that non-maleficence, respect for the person, okay, and then that the honesty and fairness and all this. So there should be an informed consent. Informed consent means that we ensure that the participant understand the research risk and benefit. Okay, we cannot restrict them that they should become the part of research or not. If a participant is not willing to take part of the research, not willing to be a part of research. So we cannot restrict them. And if there comes a time between the conduction of research that the participant wants to leave the research, he or she can leave the research. So the informed consent is that important, that we should ensure the participant the understanding of the research risk and risk. And then the data management. Data management is actually the handling of the data responsibly, securely, and with integrity. That there are issues related to the data management, that confidentiality and the privacy of the patients or the participants can be maintained and should be maintained. Okay, that we collect the data, and it should be a responsibility of a researcher that data should be secure. It should not be discussed with the third party or the other, the other researchers. So there should be an integrity, no privacy, and the confidentiality leak should be there. And there should be a, it's a very, it's an ethical issue. Okay, it's a very serious ethical issue. The data should not be, it should not be, the one part is very important, that when the data is collected and handled responsibly, it should have been secured, and then the conduction of research and the statistical analysis should be done with integrity. Then comes the authorship part, that now the research has been done. Okay, now you are going to write a publication. Uh, so there comes the part of the authorship. So if a group of researchers are doing the work, so they should assign the credit fairly and accurately. Okay, if there is someone who is a principal investigator, or someone who has the conceptual concept of this, or there is a conceptualization, so he should be given a first part. And if a person who is a supervisor or corresponding author, or who he or she is a co-PI, meaning co-principal investigator. So they should be on the second and third. So the authorship criteria, every research journal has a specified authorship criteria that you can see on any of the website of any research journal. The all the research journals around the world, they do have specific author criteria. Okay, they do specifically ask from you that who has done conceptualization, who has supervised the project, who has written the original draft, who has reviewed the draft, and who has done correspondence. So software is done by following author, who has done methodology, who has collected the data, who has analyzed the results. So all of this are the basically the part of the authorship criteria. So you can see on any of the research journal, you open it and you go to the submission guidelines, author submission guidelines, and there you'll find those authorship criteria as well. And it is very necessary part. Yeah, it's a key issue. It's a necessary part that you mention all the authorship criteria, authorship criteria and contribution and affiliation in the manuscript. Then comes the research misconduct. Uh, misconduct is actually the addressing the falsification, fabricated data, false data, and then there comes the issue of plagiarism. I'll discuss the plagiarism at the end. Then, for all these things that we have discussed here, the fundamental principles. What are the fundamental principles? That they should respect for the participants, beneficence, non-maleficence, autonomy, justice. There should be honesty, objectivity, transparency, accountability, and fairness. And the key issues related to the informed consent, the data management, authorship, conflict of interest, and the research misconduct. They all should be, they all should be addressed. They all should be done in a very, uh, very ethical manner, very clear manner, and they should be followed. So, how we can promote this research ethics integrity is the part that education and training. Like here, I am telling you that these are some points related to the research ethics and integrity. So it's a part of education and training, that providing researcher with ethics and integrity training. This lecture is just uh, I must say that this is just a teaser. Uh, but I mean, this is just an ABC of the research ethics. That what is research ethics? What is research integrity? It's just a beginning. We can have a course of hours and hours. We can speak hours and hours on any of the part. Okay, we can talk for hours and hours on conflict of trust. We can talk hours and hours for on the objectivity and transparency. So it's a very big uh, issue that has to be discussed. So the researchers should be provided with the education and training programs on ethics and training. Then the policy and guidelines, that establishing the clear policies and guidelines. Talking about the policies and guidelines, whenever you are submitting your article in any of the research journal, there are submission guidelines for the authors. Okay, so there are the clear policies and guidelines mentioned in every research journal. So there you can also whenever you are submitting a research article in any of the journal, you have to thoroughly go through the guidelines to make sure that there should be no uh, uh, misconduct of the research or something like that. Then comes the peer review. Peer review is actually the ensuring that peer review process is actually, in simple words, it's a review process. Whenever you submit an article to a research journal, after the desk evaluation, that when the editorial board, editorial office has decided that, okay, now this manuscript is ready for review, so it will be sent to for peer review. It can be a blind, it's obviously a blind review. Sometimes it's single blind, sometimes it's double blind, sometimes is your manuscript is reviewed by three reviewers. Okay, so that peer review process, it ensures the rigorous review of the research proposals and the publications. So then you got the major or minor revisions, you got the comments of the reviewers. Uh, that then you revise your manuscript according to the comments, and all this is done so to ensure research ethics and integrity. Then comes the monitoring and investigation, that addressing allegations of misconduct. Okay, there should be a training for the reviewers. that they should monitor and investigate, that they should review a research article, and if there is a misconduct, there is some kind of a fabrication, there is some kind of plagiarism, so they could monitor that and they could address that issue, and they could ask the authors that your article is either rejected, or your article needs major revision or whatsoever, or this is the concern that has risen, so you have to be careful about it. Then comes the culture of integrity, that the training institutes, the research institutes, the research journals, they should foster an environment that values ethics and integrity. So research is that kind of, that thing that by having an ethical and, the research with integrity, uh, it would be a beneficial, it is beneficial for the community. So these are the, the basics ABC of the research ethics and integrity. These are actually the essential principles that guiding the conduct of the research, the fundamental principles, research integrity, the key issues, and promoting the ethics and integrity. So talking about the plagiarism, well, plagiarism is actually, in a simple word, if I may tell you people, it's actually presenting someone else's work, okay, ideas or words as your own, okay, and without the proper acknowledgement or credit, okay. You have written a paragraph, okay, you have uh, well, you have seen an article, okay, you have read that article, and now you are writing that article's main idea or concept in your own words, okay, and you do not credit that idea, that writing. You do not give a reference, you do not cite a reference. So that's actually a plagiarism. So there are many types of direct plagiarism, that you just simply copy paste the quotation without any citation or something like that. Indirect plagiarism is actually that we paraphrase or summarize someone else's work without citing the original source. So the citation is very much important. Paraphrasing or summarizing someone's work without the citing the original work, that is the indirect plagiarism. So citation is actually that much important, that it is considered that if we have written any of the sentence without citation, it is considered as a type of plagiarism. That can be a direct plagiarism or it can be an indirect plagiarism. Then there is now new type of plagiarism, that is a mosaic plagiarism. It's actually that when you combine original work with someone else's idea or phrases without proper citation. So one thing is sure, that to avoid plagiarism, we have to cite the work. Okay, whatever we have written, we have to provide a source. We have to acknowledge the source. So that is the main concern related to research ethics and integrity. Then there are some cases of, a researcher is a beginner. They might have an accidental plagiarism case, intentionally using someone else's work, and they they do not cite that idea or something like that. So accidental plagiarism can happen as far as beginners are concerned, beginner researchers are concerned. So plagiarism is like that. There are consequences of the plagiarism. The you know the There are academic penalties, legal consequences that obviously damage to their reputation, loss of jobs, or loss of credibility. It can obviously, loss of credibility as well. That the research community, the scientific community, will not take you seriously. So that is, is a main issue. So on plagiarism, there can be,
Excuse me, sir.
yes, yes.
सर स्क्रीन सेम पेज पे है.
नहीं नहीं,
अभी ये शो
स्क्रीन
हो रहा है
इसकी,
यहाँ पे प्रमोटिंग रिसर्च इथिक्स एंड इंटीग्रिटी.
हम्म। नहीं, इसकी स्क्रीन मेरे ख्याल में इशू हो रही है मेरे पास। आई थिंक ये हैंड रिटन में था मेरे ख्याल से।
नहीं पेज यही
हम्म
है ना.
पेज ये, लेकिन मिसिंग आ रहा है इसमें नीचे। ये देखे ना, ये
ओके
खाली
ठीक है.
स्पेस आ रही। था इसी में, लेकिन मिसिंग आ रहा है। खैर, ओके। Let me wind up that plagiarism issue. That simply, if someone asks you about the plagiarism, so plagiarism actually, uh, when you present someone else's work or ideas in your own words without proper acknowledgement or credit, so there can be a direct plagiarism that you copy and paste from a source without quotation marks or attribution or without acknowledging, and then there is an indirect plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, and the accidental plagiarism. Okay. So, consequences include the academic penalties, the professional consequences. Obviously, the loss of credibility is the main issue. So, there comes that how to avoid a plagiarism. Obviously, I've already told that we should keep the proper citation. Okay. We should ensure that our work is original. Okay. And properly attributes other ideas. Our work is original and we have done it for first time, and then we should discuss our results with the existing literature properly by proper citation. We should paraphrase very, in a very clear and significant and very concise manner. And, by understanding and avoiding plagiarism, obviously, a researcher can maintain his or her academic integrity, and he or she can produce a high quality original work. So, being a beginner, what I all I can say is that whatever you write, you have to cite. Okay, you have to give credit. You have to acknowledge a source, whatever you do. So that's a very important, part of it. So that's all from my side. Just to go through all these basics of research ethics and integrity, and then the plagiarism. So if you people may have any question, you may have asked me. Yes, Rashid, do we have any questions?
यस सर, यूट्यूब पे कुछ क्वेश्चंस आए हैं हमारे पास, जिसमें से
हम्म।
नंबर वन इज दैट प्लीज एक्सप्लेन द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट।
ये कौन है, तो पाकिस्तानी है या क्या है? राशिद,
सॉरी,
ये
ये क्वेश्चन है यूट्यूब के ऊपर कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को एक्सप्लेन करें।
नहीं नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ ये पाकिस्तानी कोई है या कोई मतलब फॉरेनर है?
नहीं, आई थिंक पाकिस्तानी है।
तो फिर उर्दू में बोल दो ना इसके लिए तो। ओके। मे आई आंसर इन उर्दू, राशिद?
जी जी बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल।
अच्छा। अच्छा, सवाल यह है कि जी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एक्चुअली होता क्या है? देखिए, जब भी हम कोई रिसर्च कर रहे होते हैं, खास करके कोई ग्रुप रिसर्च अगर चल रही होती है, तो उसमें एक्चुअली ये होता है कि बहुत सारे जो है वो इंडिविजुअल के जो है ना वो कंसर्न्स होते हैं, लाइक पर्सनल कंसर्न्स होते हैं, फाइनेंशियल होते हैं, प्रोफेशनल होते हैं। और कोई भी आप डिसीजन लेते हैं तो उस डिसीजंस पे, जजमेंट्स पे, या उन एक्शंस पे जो है ना वो इन्फ्लुएंस हो सकता है। ठीक है। यानी कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ ट्रस्ट बेसिकली एक्चुअली ये चीज है कि आप जब ये लिखते हैं कि देयर इज नो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट अमंग द रिसर्चर्स, उसका मतलब ये होता है कि जब आपने कोई रिसर्च की, तो उस रिसर्च पे जो भी मेथड्स अप्लाई किए गए, जो भी उसके रिजल्ट्स आए, जो भी उसमें ऑथर कंट्रीब्यूशन और क्राइटेरिया मेंशन किया गया, उस रिसर्च के लिए कोई फंडिंग अगर ली गई, या उसके लिए कोई मतलब किसी भी चीज को कोई एक्नॉलेज करना है या कुछ भी करना है, तो उस सारे मतलब डिसीजन में कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं है किसी का। सो इट शुड बी रिटन वेरी क्लियरली। ठीक है। तो एग्जांपल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इंटरेस्ट के मैं ऐसे दे सकता हूँ, जैसे लाइक फाइनेंशियल गेन के एक एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं हम, कि अगर किसी रिसर्चर ने कोई फंडिंग ली है किसी भी कंपनी की, तो अब वो क्या होगा, वो क्या करेगी कि वो कंपनी जो है वो स्टैंड करेगी, स्टैंड बेनिफिट फ्रॉम द रिसर्च फाइंडिंग। ठीक है। ये मतलब फाइनेंशियल गेन हो सकता है, पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप हो सकता है कि जो डिसीजन मेकर है उसका कोई क्लोज रिलेशनशिप है किसी भी ऐसे के साथ जो उसके डिसीजन से बेनिफिट ले सकता है। समझ रहे हैं बात? तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को मैनेज करने के लिए डिस्क्लोजर की बड़ी जरूरत है। यानी कि आपको वाजे लिखना चाहिए कि जी देयर इज नो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट अमंग द रिसर्चर्स। सही है। यानी कि लेट्स सपोज, इसकी एक और मिसाल है, तो आप रिसर्चर थे, मेन आइडिया आपका था। अब हुआ यूं कि आपका नाम पहले रख दिया, ठीक है जी। दूसरा नाम जो है जनाब आपके सुपरवाइजर का या मेन जो मतलब मेंटोर था, ये उसका नाम है। इसी तरह फिर उसके बाद ऑथरशिप क्राइटेरिया, थर्ड फोर्थ फिफ्थ सिक्स। तो किसी को एतराज ना हो कि उसका नाम पांचवे पे क्यों रखा गया, उसका पहले पे क्यों नहीं रखा गया। तो इस चीज को क्लियर करने के लिए कि कल को कोई भी रिसर्चर जो है वो ये मतलब कंसर्न ना उठाए कि जनाब मुझे तो इन्होंने थर्ड नंबर पे नाम कहा था, इन्होंने मेरा पांचवे पे क्यों प्रिंट करवा दिया। तो जब वो स्टेटमेंट दे दी जाती है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ ट्रस्ट की, कि देयर इज नो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ ट्रस्ट, तो वो क्लियर हो जाती है बात। सो आई होप यू गेट इट।
जी सर,
यस
थैंक
राशिद।
यू सो मच फॉर एक्सप्लेनिंग। एक और क्वेश्चन आया है चैट में,
जी जी।
ट्रांसपेरेंसी से रिलेटेड, जो आप एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे। वो है, व्हाट इफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी इज हार्मिंग समवन ऑब्जेक्टिविटी।
ओके, मैं इसका बिल्कुल जवाब दे रहा हूँ, जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड। ओके राशिद, repeat the question please. That transparency is harming someone's objectivity. Okay.
जी सर, बिल्कुल यही क्वेश्चन।
ओके। देखिए ऑब्जेक्टिविटी तो सिंपल सी बात है ना कि आपके एम्स ऑब्जेक्टिव उस स्टडी को लेकर क्या हैं, ठीक है। मतलब आपका एक्सपेक्टेड आउटकम क्या होना चाहिए। अगर आप किसी डिजीज बेस्ड काम कर रहे हैं, किसी पेशेंट ओरिएंटेड पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो आपका मकसद क्या है कि आप, जाहिर बात है, पेशेंट के आउटकम्स को बेहतर करने के लिए करना चाह रहे हैं, अगर ये आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव है। ठीक है। तो ट्रांसपेरेंसी को हम ये कह सकते हैं कि आप ये कह रहे हैं कि अकाउंटेबिलिटी, ठीक है जी, स्क्रूटनी करना, ट्रस्ट किसी चीज पर, सही है। और क्लियर मतलब उस पर गाइडलाइंस हो, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन क्लियर हो, इंडिपेंडेंट रिव्यू हो। अच्छा, इसमें हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जनाब आपकी जो मतलब कोई इन्फ्लुएंस आपके ऊपर ना हो, सही है। और कोई ना ऐसी चीज ना हो कि जिसमें ना मतलब एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस को फॉलो ना किया जा रहा हो। तो एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस को आपने फॉलो करना है, यानी कि ऐसा ना हो कि आपके उस रिसर्च से जो है ना वो किसी को जो है ना वो मतलब प्रॉब्लम हो, उसके लिए हार्म जो है वो हो सके। तो ये चीजें, तो ये जो सवाल है इसकी मतलब ना वही बात आती है कि अब डिपेंड करता है कि उन वो जो सवाल का जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट है वो किस सिनेरियो में है। देखिए फील्ड टू फील्ड वेरिएशन हो सकती है। कि लाइक अगर मैं ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात कर रहा हूँ तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि जी देखिए जी, डाटा कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी होनी चाहिए, प्राइवेसी होनी चाहिए। फिर उसके बाद ये है कि जनाब रिसर्च जो है बड़े ऑब्जेक्टिविटी और बड़े एथिकल तरीके से होनी चाहिए। हर वो जो है ना चीज जो एक अच्छी रिसर्च को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, वो सारे पैरामीटर्स फॉलो होने चाहिए। ठीक हो गया। तो अब वही बात आती है कि ऑब्जेक्टिविटी से वो किस तरह से वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कर सकती है। तो ये आई थिंक केस बेस्ड एक सिनेरियो है। तो ये जिसने भी सवाल किया है वो ये है कि अब जो जो उनके जेहन में बैक एंड में जो केस है, जिस केस को जेहन में रखते हुए उन्होंने ये सवाल किया है, तो वो उस बेस पे फिर डिस्कस किया जा सकता है। तो इसका कोई आंसर मतलब मैं ये कहूँ कि मैं अगर कोई स्टेटमेंट ऐसी दूं कि भाई जो फाइनल होगी इस चीज के लिए, इस सवाल के लिए, तो ऐसा नहीं है। ये एक बड़ा एक आप कह लें कि वाइड एक सवाल है, एक जनरलाइज टॉपिक है जिसपे हर केस के मुताबिक जो है ना वो डिस्कशन हो सकती है और उसका आउटकम डिफरेंट हो सकता है। सो आई कैन नॉट कि मैं कोई अपना पर्सनल ओपिनियन इसमें नहीं दे सकता। तो ये इसमें एक है।
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर द वंडरफुल सेशन। एंड जो जूम में पार्टिसिपेंट्स मौजूद हैं, अगर उनमें से किसी का क्वेश्चन है तो यू कैन रेज योर हैंड एंड आस्क योर क्वेश्चन। आई थिंक किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है।
ओके। यस। कोई है जी क्वेश्चन किसी का? रिसर्च ये जो जूम पे एटलीस्ट जो लोग बैठे हैं ऑनलाइन हैं।
नो सर, क्लियर।
ओके। Okay, Rashid, I think we should wind up. And thank you, everyone. And sorry for the inconvenience. I do apologize for that, as I do have some commitments tonight, and I do have electricity and load shedding issues as well in my area. So I uh, do apologize for the inconvenience, and thank you so much, everyone, for the understanding.
No issue, sir. No need to address that. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much,
much.
sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And yeah, we should end the session now. Thank you, everyone.